Good evening, everyone. Yeah, and we're going to take a look at that in just a moment. But right now, kind of look at those conditions outside. It's beautiful out there for November, 64 degrees. We've had so many warm days already for this month. But we had record-setting temperatures last weekend. Now we're getting close again, but it's not records today. It still feels like it's in the mid-60s. The dew point is actually coming up, so it's getting still quite comfortable, but we may notice just a little mugginess as we go through the weekend as that tropical system, what's left of it, comes our way. Bit of a breeze out there. We mentioned this earlier, so kind of blowing the leaves around. Might be a good idea to clear up the leaves if you can around your yard or any storm drains that might be clogged, because there will be quite a bit of rain coming as well. But for now, nice and pleasant. Temperatures in the low and mid-60s still at this hour. Looking off to the west, still quite mild. 70s showing up as you get out towards Chicago and then down to the south. But then just behind that, look at all these shades of blue showing up as you get into the Dakotas. It's snowing out there. That cold air coming in our direction, but it'll be modified by the time it gets here. So we'll be looking at just seasonable temperatures for the most part. A little cooling trend, though. But the reason why we've been so gorgeous today is high pressure, just keeping our sky nice and clear and on the mild side with that southwesterly breeze. But turning to the south, here's what's going on with Tropical Depression Nicole at the present time. Still has tropical characteristics. When it came ashore as a hurricane, briefly, it went right through Orlando and is now going up into the Big Bend area of Florida around Tallahassee, and then it's going to curve north-northeast as we go through the course of the next 24 to 48 hours, and it's going to take off when it starts coming up the coastline. So maximum winds now at 45 miles per hour, but it is continuing to weaken and will do so through the overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning, and you can see it's now going to start tracking off to the north-northeast. So here's what we can expect when we see what's left of it coming up in our direction. We could be getting some periods of heavy rain, especially late tomorrow night into early Saturday morning, bringing 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. So like I mentioned, clear those storm drains around your home perhaps, so prevent any possibility of localized flooding. We will get some strong wind gusts reaching anywhere between 40 and 50 miles per hour, especially along the south coast. Could have some thunderstorms as well early Saturday morning, and down along coastal areas we could be seeing waves hitting around 10 feet or more. Rainfall totals. Well, we're going to be on the better side of the storm track. It's going to be basically going up through the Hudson River Valley, if you will, so the heaviest rains will be out through New York State, but nonetheless, we could still be seeing 1 to 2 inches of rainfall through midday on Saturday. And some of the wind gusts will start to ramp up for Friday night, especially. And that's when we start getting into some 40-mile-per-hour gusts, maybe 45 along the south coast, out towards the Cape and the islands. Could see some 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts into early Saturday morning. But then as the whole system goes on by, those winds will be dying down and the sky will begin clearing out. So here's how things play out as we go through the day tomorrow. Clouds increasing, showers arriving late afternoon. Then we could get into some of the bands of heavier rain as we go into Friday evening through Saturday night, maybe some thunderstorms, and then it's gone. By midday Saturday, we'll get some clearing for the afternoon, and then temperatures start cooling back down as we head through the rest of the weekend. So again, for tonight, though, fairly pleasant. Some clouds, patchy fog forming late, lows in the low 50s. And then tomorrow, back up near 70 degrees, but again, turning breezy, winds picking up, and the rain arriving for Friday night into Saturday morning with what's left of Nicole moving through the region. And then it's windy for Saturday afternoon as it clears out. Temperatures dropping Sunday. Look at that, highs only in the 50s, 40s for early next week. That's your latest forecast. Good evening, everyone. What a beautiful day we had today. I don't know about you. Are you still having trouble trying to adjust to the time change? With all these mild temperatures, it still feels a little like summer out there, doesn't it? Should be getting darker later, right? Well, right now, we're still at 59 degrees. Nice, comfortable evening out there. A little bit of a breeze out of the south-southwest, 11 miles per hour. Temperatures throughout all of southern New England, still holding on to some of those nice mild readings from this afternoon. All checkpoints hovering right around 60 degrees for the most part at the present time. Newport's just a little bit cooler at 57. That wind coming right off the water, and the folks out on Block Island seeing the same result. And if you happen to be out towards the Cape, again, southwesterly winds keeping it just a little bit cooler than the rest of the interior counterparts. And it's mild all the way off to the west, all the way out to Chicago. We're still 73 degrees there, but not much further west of that. You go into Minnesota, the Dakotas, temperatures plunge down into the 30s, and there is snow going on in North Dakota at the present time. But not here. A beautiful day. High pressure giving us the great sun-filled sky all day long. Just really couldn't find a cloud around. And a little bit of a breeze occasionally here and there. If you get a chance through the first half of tomorrow before some rain and the winds really kick up, if you have some leaves clogging your storm drain out front, you might want to try to clear that because there is going to be some substantial rainfall coming through the region. But again, it stays dry until midday tomorrow, but this is what's going to bring the wet weather and the rain our way as well. And this is still Tropical Storm Nicole. It came ashore last evening briefly as a hurricane, worked its way through central Florida, pretty much right over Orlando. And now it's heading towards up around the Tallahassee area, and it's going to curve off to the north-northeast. Maximum winds at the present time still holding on to 45 miles per hour, but it is going to be moving rapidly off to the north-northeast and falling apart quickly as it does so. But nonetheless, when it all comes up the coastline, the remnants are going to create some problems for us. We'll see some periods of heavy rain through tomorrow night, early Saturday morning. The greatest threat pretty much tomorrow evening till about, just say 8 or 9 o'clock Saturday morning. Could bring a total of 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. That's why I talk about trying to clear those storm drains. Strong wind gusts could be reaching 40 to 50 miles per hour, especially as we go through later tomorrow night and into Saturday morning. We'll see that in just a moment. Could have some bad thunderstorms with these systems coming through, and the seas are going to get rather rough as well. Rainfall totals, here we go, 1 to 2 inches for the most part. The heaviest rains are going to be back through New York State because to the west of the storm track center is where the heaviest rainfall will be felt. To the east, where we are, is where some of the strongest winds will be felt. So let's focus on that. As we go through the day tomorrow, you'll notice the breeze kicking up into the evening hours, gusting 25, maybe 30 miles per hour. But as we head towards midnight, we'll start getting those 40 to 40 mile per hour, 5 mile per hour wind gusts, and maybe some 50 mile per hour wind gusts into early Saturday morning. But then the storm goes by and the winds begin to die down and the sky clears. Here's what it looks like on our maps. Overnight tonight, just a few clouds around, pleasant night, dropping back into the 50s. Those clouds increase and thicken during the day tomorrow. We're dry for the first half of the day. First showers come in mid to late afternoon. We'll be up near 70 degrees. Some bands of heavy rain at times, embedded thunderstorms Friday night into early Saturday morning with those gusty winds. And then it starts to all move through fairly quickly as we go into Saturday morning through the morning hours. We're still mild in the 60s. We'll top off near 70 degrees before the last band comes through by midday and sunshine returning for the afternoon. And then as we head into the second half of the weekend, it cools down back into the mid-50s. That's where we should be. Monday and Tuesday highs only in the 40s. And another threat of rain coming in Wednesday, and it gets really chilly on Thursday.